was founded as the premier birthright trip for diaspora-born Assyrians to explore and connect with their ancestral roots in northern Iraq. Since 2012, over 75 young Assyrians have been able to visit their homeland through this particular program. Dr. Danavi is currently a third-year internal medicine resident physician at Loyola Medical Center and will be acting chief resident over the next year. Please welcome Dr. Joseph Danavi.
Dear distinguished guests, Armenian, Assyrian, Greek community, and the American public, Shlama Alochon. Peace be upon you in my native Assyrian language. Although a commonly used phrase to greet one another, its meaning has been systematically decimated over the past 100 years, along with more than 2/3 of my Assyrian population. A meaning peace that has been drowned out by the blood and cries of over 750,000 Assyrian innocents covertly murdered, pillaged, raped by the Ottoman Empire in their genocidal pursuit to forge a pan-Turkic Muslim state. A meaning peace that has been riddled in bullets when over 3,000 Assyrians in Semele in 1933 were rounded up by the Iraqi army and exterminated. And today, its meaning lost, inconceivable to this generation, our generation, as we continue to hear and relive stories of endless persecution, exodus, and acts of genocide. Not only from our grandparents' time, not only from our parents' time, but during our time. More than 3 generations undergoing genocide and counting. Being born to a family of both Armenian and Assyrian heritage, I heard these gruesome experiences my grandparents had to endure at a very young age. I remember vividly how my grandfather depicted his own hunger march from modern-day Turkey to Iraq, where he lost not only his father, but also his young sister, where he was offered not water, but urine to quench his thirst. This story is only but one drop in the oceans of blood the Ottoman Empire spilled for their efforts to create a one nation, one religion, a precursor to Hitler's own Nazi Germany, and ultimately the Holocaust. And today, in the midst of denial and injustice over the past 100 years, we are witnessing yet again another genocide inflicted upon the Yazidis, and again, the Assyrians, not coincidentally along the same blood-stained borders of Turkey. It has been said that genocide denial is killing the victims twice. Once with the initial act of genocide, and the second time with silence, indifference, injustice. But I say to you all, it kills the victims 3 times, with the 3rd time resulting in reoccurrence of genocide. This past summer, the indigenous Assyrians of Mosul and the surrounding Inuit plains were given an ultimatum by ISIS to either convert, flee, or face the sword. As if the ultimatum wasn't enough, their homes were marked, eerily similar to the practices used by Nazis against the Jews. Over 300,000 Assyrian Christians fled en masse, emptying their ancestral homelands for the first time in 6,000 years. Not only have our people been expelled, not only are innocent brethren kidnapped and killed, but now even our history, our archaeological sites are being systematically targeted and destroyed. This is a textbook definition of genocide, ethnic cleansing. As you see, from one generation to another, the fate remains the same. However, we Assyrians remain defiant. Despite the world's deafening silence to our pleas for international protection, our people in northeast Syria and Iraq have formed independent militias to defend and attempt to reclaim our lives, our lands, our identity. However, we cannot defeat the forces of ISIS and their genocidal plans on our own, nor should we. On behalf of the Assyrian community of Illinois, we thank the Armenian organizations and are humbled and comforted by this year's unity with our fellow survivors, the Armenians and the Greeks. As much as we are victims, we are more so survivors. Each one of us alive today as a sacred token of the sacrifices and hardships made by our families, our heroes. we together fell, and today we march for remembrance and recognition, but we also demand action. For today is not only a day to march for last century's first genocide, but as genocide survivors ourselves, we must march, advocate, and stop this century's first genocide unfolding in Syria and Iraq. To Turkey, we will never forget and will continue to remind the world of what transpired not only in 1915, but what the horrific consequences are when genocide is denied and justice is withheld. That simply but assuringly, genocide repeats. In the holy name of the millions of martyrs now made saints by the Armenian Church, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Danavi. Congressman Dan Lipinski represents the 3rd Congressional District and has earned straight A's on the Armenian National Committee report card for nearly a decade.